This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Good evening. A weekend today before the U.S. elections, the Islamic Jihad in Beirut today released a videotape of the longest-held American hostage, accusing the Reagan administration of blocking his release. President Reagan and his aides immediately dismissed that charge, saying that Terry Anderson was just being used by his captors. CBS News correspondent Anthony Mason in London begins our report.
Hopes and my courage high.
The new videotape showed Terry Anderson to be fit, alert, and angry. The Reagan administration, he said, had failed the American hostages.
I've been very close to being released several times over the past 2 years. But each time it seems that the U.S. government uses its influence to stop any agreement from being made. And I don't understand this.
Anderson gave no specifics in his prepared statement, but he also accused both presidential candidates of ignoring the hostage issue in their campaigns. While administration officials said the Anderson tape was a ploy to influence the U.S. election, the captors, Islamic Jihad, in their statement called it a goodwill gesture to Terry Anderson's family. Happy birthday! This past week, Anderson's co-workers at the Associated Press in Beirut marked his 41st birthday by placing a cake on his long vacant desk. And Anderson's 3-year-old daughter, Sulumeh, born after he was taken hostage, sent this message to her father over Lebanese television.
Happy birthday, dear Daddy. Happy birthday to you.
I received your birthday greetings, and as always, that helped very much. But as my 4th birthday in captivity passes, and as the end of my 4th year approaches, I find it difficult to keep my hopes and my courage high.
Anderson said he'd heard the radio reports last week of the massive rescue effort to save the whales off Alaska.
It was a warming story. That kind of cooperation and spirit is absolutely necessary to bring this situation to an end.
Anderson's sister, Peggy Say, today shared his despair.
The administration can almost treat it as a point of honor that they are not doing anything for these hostages.
The whole of Terry Anderson's taped message ran a brief 2.5 minutes. His final words were for his family.
Kiss my daughters for me. Keep your spirits up, and I will try to do the same. And one day, soon, God willing, this will end.
Anthony Mason, CBS News, London.
President Reagan quickly denied that his administration had ever blocked agreements to free the hostages.
That is absolutely not true, but let me point something out. Terry Anderson in that terrible confinement at the hands of those barbarians. Any information he has to have come from them.
Mr. Reagan said it was unthinkable that he would ever give up hope, but he flatly refused to deal directly with the kidnappers.
The one thing we cannot do is negotiate with the kidnappers on a sort of ransom idea, because that just encourages more kidnapping and more hostage-taking. I don't think that was Terry speaking. I think he had a script that was given to him.
Former hostage father Martin Jenko says his captors gave him the same script in 1986, though the videotape was never shown.
But it's a script that really reflects our sentiments, really, in captivity, because you have no sense the only one who's doing anything for us.
But another former hostage doesn't believe Anderson's message was scripted.
Terry's statement was from his heart. It truly expressed his feelings and his opinion. It was not a statement which was dictated by the captors.
A counterterrorism expert called the Terry Anderson videotape an amateurish, last-ditch effort by the captors to play on the family's emotions before the election.
Let go. And I think that what we're seeing is an effort to make some use of these unfortunate people, some use of the hostages, before the whole thing evaporates.
Senior officials inside the Reagan administration also believe that the value of the hostages to the kidnappers is now almost zero. So they have a choice. Either deal with the kidnappers once the election is over, or just wait it out and hope that the hostages will be released after Ronald Reagan is out of office. Bill Plant, CBS News, with the president in Los Angeles.
Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News. Bob Simon on terror and retribution that could tip the balance in the Israeli election. And Peter Van Sant with a Halloween report on the strange, spooky lights out in the American West.
Your
company that gave me a summer job in Louisiana last year has sent me to Germany this year. And we've got an interesting challenge, getting a special product to people who need it all over the world. It's used in formulating medical compounds that fight heart disease, high blood pressure, and more. Hard to imagine a college senior working on a project like this. But I found one company willing to give a young person a chance.
Lets you do great things.
Great. What is it?
Hot grape nuts. The recipe's easy. The result? A savory blend of wholesome wheat and barley, deliciously hearty, uniquely grape nuts. For a great hot taste from an unexpected place, Hot Grape Nuts Cereal.
Splish splash, I was taking a bath. Long about a Saturday night. Gloved up, got a clog in my tub. But Liquid Drano fixed it up right.
Liquid Drano, the liquid strong enough to be called Drano.
Choose to make a difference.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can.
It's all right. Every time you reach for MasterCard from now through December, we'll donate money to 6 worthy causes, and you can help choose where the money goes.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand.
Choose to make a difference. Choose MasterCard.
The last week of the presidential campaign, Mike Dukakis kept up what his staff calls his new aggressive campaign style as he stumped today in California. Dukakis now calling himself a liberal in what he says is the tradition of Franklin Roosevelt, Harry Truman, and John F. Kennedy. For his part, George Bush quickly incorporated this into his latest campaign attack on Dukakis. CBS News correspondent Bruce Morton, traveling with the Dukakis campaign, begins our coverage.
There's a feeling in the air. And it smells like victory to me.
It's a mixed metaphor, one aide said, but I know what he means. Heading into the final full week of campaigning, the crowds are enthusiastic, the speeches are punchy. Michael Dukakis is hot. After months of drifting, Dukakis seems to have settled on a message he's comfortable with. Part populism, George Bush is for the rich folks, I'm for you. Here's an excerpt from a 5-minute television ad which airs tomorrow.
And if you want a president and a vice president who are on your side, then Lloyd Bentsen and I ask you tonight to work with us to build the best America.
Another part of the message, Dukakis no longer runs away from the word liberal, now saying he stands with Roosevelt and Truman and Kennedy.
You know, I said yesterday that I was proud to stand in the tradition of some great presidents, the liberal tradition.
It is, Dukakis emphasizes, non-goofy liberalism, believing in balanced budgets, the right to keep and bear arms, and a strong defense, a point running mate Lloyd Bentsen is making in Texas this week.
I wouldn't be on the ticket with a fellow that's weak on national defense. I feel very strongly about it.
Here in California, Dukakis has also stressed environmental issues, and today, at a community college in San Jose, came out strongly for the pro-choice position on abortion.
You know, Mr. Bush wants the government to make what is one of the most personal choices a woman can make. I believe a choice that personal must be made by the woman in the exercise of her own conscience and religious beliefs.
So Dukakis has a message he's comfortable with, and he's hot. But what does that mean exactly? Staffers say and outside sources confirm that he has made some gains in some states, including this one, but he has a very long way to go. Dan?
Bruce, gaining in 1, 2, or even several states is one thing, but what is the scenario, or is there one, in which Dukakis and his aides see them actually winning the election?
Well, I'm not sure. They say they don't see any major movement in the national polls so far. They don't see anything in what they've gained so far these last few days that would turn this election around, and they're not sure there's enough time to turn it around. Their best hope is that there are a lot of undecideds yet, and if they can blame the negative tone of this campaign on George Bush, they think they have a shot.
All right, Bruce, thanks. CBS News correspondent Bob Schieffer, covering the Bush campaign in Missouri, has more now on Bush's new needling of Dukakis.
The way George Bush told it today, you would have thought Michael Dukakis had owned up to being Jack the Ripper. What had Dukakis admitted to?
Miracle of miracles, headlines, read all about it.
He's using the liberal label again. But I've got a proposal. There should be a debate. Dukakis versus Dukakis. What a debate. One could claim to be on the side of ordinary Americans, and the other, Dukakis, could explain whether he thinks ordinary Americans oppose the death penalty for drug kingpins like he does.
All this is part of Bush's strategy to convince conservative Democrats and independents they'll be more comfortable with Bush than Dukakis. Bush's people concede Dukakis is picking up strength now, but they say his statement yesterday that he's a liberal and proud of it gives him a new opening to swing voters. So on the back roads where he's campaigning, running mate Dan Quayle also hit an identical theme.
He is a liberal, but he certainly is not in the liberal mode of Jack Kennedy or Harry Truman or FDR. He is like today's liberal, Walter Mondale, George McGovern, Jimmy Carter, and now Michael Dukakis.
In St. Louis, where several dozen demonstrators were waiting, Bush boarded a train for the year's shortest campaign whistle-stop tour, a 200-yard ride. There, too, he played to possible swing voters.
Today, I want to welcome all discerning Democrats, independents, and Republicans who agree with me and you on these issues. Have those Democrats come where they're wanted.
Of course, it's not all heavy lifting on a campaign. Since it's Halloween, Bush was greeted at one stop by reporters and staffers wearing pig masks. He laughed it off with a little dig at the pigs.
This is my 208th press conference. Thank you all very much.
That was all in fun, but there won't be much more of it from here on. With Dukakis finally beginning to show some life, Bush has shelved plans for a kinder, gentler end to the campaign. Instead, he'll stay on the attack. Dan?
Well, Bob, I gather that the Bush people are not all that concerned about this talk of Dukakis gaining.
Well, Dan, we're getting to the part of the campaign where you have to be very careful about believing anything that anybody in any campaign tells you. But the Bush people say that from the beginning they thought this campaign would begin to close toward the end. What they say is happening now is that it is no tighter than they thought it would be at this point.
All right, Bob, thanks. In a taped interview with NBC News today and broadcast this evening, George Bush denied stories suggesting that he was involved in the past in negotiations with the terrorist who hijacked a TWA plane and held it in Lebanon in 1985. CBS News some days ago extended an invitation for Bush to be interviewed here on the CBS Evening News.
He strained his back real bad about a week ago, and I had this free sample of Metapron.
I couldn't believe how fast it worked.
I had this awful headache, and Metapron fixed me right up.
I have arthritis pain sometimes, and it's nice to know Metapron is there.
I heard it's got what's in Motrin.
Metapron is for tough pain. It has ibuprofen, the same medicine as Motrin, and nothing's proven faster.
You know, not very long ago, I would just grin and bear it.
Now it's all I use.
Metapron just works.
When the pain gets tough, get Metapron.
Constipation is disaster, and that's the honest truth.
Jean Wright talks about constipation and Dulcolax laxatives.
I can depend on Dulcolax because it takes care of my constipation problems in a gentle, easy way. My doctor suggested that I try Dulcolax, and I did, and I was very happy.
Dulcolax suppositories can work in 15 minutes to 1 hour. Dulcolax tablets predictably overnight.
I wake up in the morning, and I get complete relief. Dulcolax brightens my day.
Meeting your new daughter-in-law.
Uh-huh.
With dirty dentures?
I just soaked them.
Soaking's not enough. Denture Cream cleans almost twice as clean as effort into 90 seconds.
Twice as clean.
Brush with Denture Cream or Minty Denture Gel.
You've always trusted Woolite to care for your sweaters. Wouldn't you love to get that same Woolite care for your rugs and for your chairs? Well, try Woolite Deep Cleaning Rug Cleaner and Woolite Upholstery Cleaner. Trust Woolite Care for rugs and chairs.
Tomorrow is Election Day in Israel, a crucial contest in the shadow of Intifada, the uprising in the occupied Arab territories. Israelis will vote just 2 days after firebombers destroyed a bus on the West Bank, killing an Israeli woman and her 3 children. Bob Simon is on the scene.
Orthodox Jews of Jerusalem, thousands mourned the 27-year-old schoolteacher and her 3 children, victims of the deadliest attack mounted by Palestinians since the uprising began almost 11 months ago. The streets were a sea of black hats and grief as the procession wound its way to the ancient Jewish cemetery on the Mount of Olives, where the dead were buried amidst cries for revenge.
You have to kill those who want to attack you and want to kill your women and children. All these who want to destroy us will be destroyed.
The army began destroying houses in the West Bank town of Jericho today. It blew up 3 and bulldozed another 4. A banana grove also fell victim as soldiers tried to obliterate all hiding places near the road. A curfew was clamped on the town. All the men aged 16 to 60 were rounded up and questioned in a schoolyard. The army said it captured a 3-man gang that carried out the attack, which is perceived here as an election eve gift to the right-wing Likud party of Itzhak Shamir, who promised today that if elected, he'll crack down.
The moment Likud government will start its activities, the violence in the territories will go down.
The attack may not have been aimed at Israel's left-wing Labor Party, but it certainly sent candidates of conciliation running for cover.
It creates a revolting feeling among all of the people in our country.
The political battle in Israel is really being waged between those who believe it's possible to make peace with Palestinians and those who believe it is not. This act of terror just before elections could tip the scales in what has been a very close fight. It could emerge as the most important political event of the campaign. Bob Simon, CBS News, Jerusalem.
Former Philippine First Lady Imelda Marcos pleaded not guilty to federal racketeering charges today. The judge set bail at $5 million and ordered Mrs. Marcos to return to court Thursday with a list of assets to secure the bail. Ferdinand Marcos is still in Hawaii. He says he can't travel to New York because of his health, and the judge postponed his arraignment, at least until he's examined by a U.S. government doctor. The Marcoses are now accused of embezzling $100 million from their country's treasury and secretly using the money to buy property in New York.
My priorities are fouled up. I love Kellogg's Raisin Squares simply for the taste. You're right. I'm self-indulgent and shallow. I know they have no salt or fat. I know that avoiding that stuff makes sense for my heart. No salt. That's a good reason to eat Raisin Squares. But me, I just keep stuffing them in purely for that yummy raisin in the middle. I thought I was intelligent. Well, I am.
Kellogg's Squares. No salt, no fat. Relax. Enjoy them to your heart's content.
Nothing great lasts forever. Even the great crab harvest of '88 at Red Lobster. This may be your last chance to taste these 6 crab and seafood combinations starting at $7.95 with succulent king crab and delicate snow crab to dip, drip, and savor. Remember, all great things must come to an end. So hurry to the great crab harvest of '88 at Red Lobster. Friday through Sunday, try our steak and shrimp special. It's new, just $9.95.
Anywhere in the world you can dial direct, you can dial with MCI for up to 22% less than AT&T. At MCI, we don't just promise you the world, we give it to you for less. Until you call, you'll never know how much better a long-distance company can be.
I need home cooking.
Well, try Swanson Homestyle Recipe number 6, a spicy beef lasagna with a blend of cottage, mozzarella, and ricotta cheeses you won't find anywhere else, unless your mother's Italian.
Sounds good. She's not.
It is no secret why Texas, with its prize of 29 electoral votes, has been targeted so heavily by the presidential candidates as part of their hopefully winning strategies for election night. Texas does not consider itself a southern state, but even for those who do consider it that, it isn't the only southern state George Bush and Michael Dukakis are fighting over. CBS News National Affairs correspondent Leslie Stahl looks tonight at how and why Arkansas has become such a telling test of presidential politics in the South.
They're picking cotton in Arkansas, where farmers have been hurting. It's one of the states Dukakis targeted, trying to prove that a northern Democrat can still win in the South.
We have a large percentage of our population that's poor, and that the economic recovery has not touched.
It's been devastating on this area. Reaganomics has.
For a state with just 6 electoral votes, Arkansas has been getting an awful lot of attention from both sides in this campaign. That's because of small towns like Cotton Plant, where jobs and businesses have dried up during the Reagan administration, just as the crops dried up this year because of the drought. This rural community in southern Arkansas is ripe for Dukakis. 1 in 5 is out of work, 65% on welfare or Social Security.
It needs to be some change for the black and for the poor special.
But for many whites in Arkansas and throughout the South, Bush's assault on Dukakis' liberalism pushed economic issues into the background.
I'm going to vote for Bush, so I don't particularly like Dukakis. I don't know why, I just don't.
Arkansas's Bill Clinton is one of the few Southern governors still sticking his chin out for Dukakis.
So I'm not sure that his record is too liberal for the people of Arkansas. It's the way people perceive his value system. People won't vote for an alien. It'd be like asking them to vote for somebody from another country for president.
Well, look again. He's going to take the guns away from us. We can't vote for him, can we?
The issue that has hurt Dukakis more than any other in Arkansas is a stand in favor of gun control. The hunting season is about to begin here. Thousands of good old boys are out buying rifles, getting ready for deer season, which opens the Saturday before Election Day.
Everybody be hunting for the next week. So it's kids, wives, family, everybody goes.
There'll be a lot of people just go ahead and go deer hunting, I'd imagine, and still voting. That's my personal opinion.
Now, that's going to help Michael Dukakis, isn't it?
That's hard to say. It probably will.
That and a lack of enthusiasm for Bush is keeping the Democrats' hopes alive.
I still don't think people feel good about voting for Bush. Is it too late? It depends on whether they're still listening.
One group still listening is the state's blacks. A last-minute voter registration drive was aimed at them.
They're going to really go to the polls and vote their conviction, and their conviction is going to be for a Democrat in the White House.
Bob Starr, managing editor of the influential Arkansas Democrat, believes it is too late.
The Michael Dukakis people are now saying we are waiting for a miracle. I don't think there's a miracle out there.
Democrats are counting on a new hard-hitting Dukakis, on Republican complacency, on a big black turnout, and the hope that a large portion of the white male population chooses hunting for buck over voting for Bush. Leslie Stahl, CBS News, Cotton Plant, Arkansas.
The actor, producer, and director John Houseman died of cancer today in his Malibu, California home. John Houseman was 86.
I've had a life absolutely crammed full of miracles.
Houseman's death came exactly 50 years after the celebrated radio broadcast The War of the Worlds, which he co-produced with Orson Welles. In spite of a distinguished career as a stage and movie producer, Houseman became famous only when he took up acting in his 70s and created the role of Professor Charles W. Kingsfield in The Paper Chase.
Good luck with your exam. You'll need it.
Houseman, who was born in Romania, turned to the theater at age 30 after working in the grain business. He and Welles immediately staged revolutionary productions of a modern-dressed Julius Caesar and the anti-capitalist musical The Cradle Will Rock. In Hollywood, Houseman's productions included Lust for Life. But when all is said and done, Houseman is perhaps best known for a single line he spoke on behalf of an investment firm.
They make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it.
Instantly, your skin knows this skincare fluid is different. It is so similar to the essential fluid abundant in young skin that your skin recognizes it and instantly absorbs it. Can't help but put it to work, softening, smoothing, silkening dryness. This beauty fluid is what your skin needs and craves. This is Oil of Olay.
I woke up with this killer pressure from a sinus cold.
Sinus cold.
Pain.
Pressure. Congestion.
Couldn't breathe.
Pain.
Congestion.
Pressure.
The pain was awful.
Congestion. Pressure.
I took new maximum strength Dristan. I'm here.
Discover new maximum strength Dristan. It combines two strong medicines to drain sinus cavities, unclog congestion, to relieve pressure and pain.
And it won't make you drowsy.
New maximum strength Dristan. Strong medicine for tough sinus colds.
Whirlpool and I spent years becoming laundry experts, but now they make it easy for everybody. With so many choices of cycles and temperatures for most any fabric, even Grandpa might do a good job on the laundry. Nah.
With low back pain, every step shoots pain. Up here. Know what helps?
Clinically proven Back Guard, a shoe insert. Watch how it absorbs foot shock to relieve low back pain.
Amazing. Something down here can help up here.
New Back Guard from Dr. Scholl's.
An old song tells us the stars at night are big and bright deep in the heart of Texas, but it isn't the stars or the 1,000 points of light featured in this year's presidential campaign that people are gaping at in the night skies over West Texas these days. Is it ghosts? Is it goblins? What in thunder is it? Peter Van Sant filed this Halloween night report.
Deep in the Big Bend country of southwest Texas, in the high plateau where cattle far outnumber people, there exists a ghostly mystery that has confounded local residents for generations.
It's a phenomenon that's real. It's a mystery. No one has solved it yet, right? Right, neighbor? That's right.
It can't be seen by day. Only when the sun goes down and the moon glows overhead do eyes turn towards the Chinate Mountains to watch the ghost lights of Marfa, Texas. Using a special night camera, we watched this ghostly light show for more than 2 hours. Lights that have baffled scientists who theorize they may be caused by static electricity or some chemical reaction. The mystery has spawned folk tales of spirits wandering in the night.
I'd like to think that it's an old miner with a lantern out there and someone's looking for him.
A ghost, you mean?
A ghost, yeah.
The lights appear out of nowhere, rising from the desert floor or a mountaintop, sometimes drifting, sometimes splitting in two, always exciting whoever sees the glowing balls of light.
Hey, there's another one!
There's another one.
Our expression was, quite simply, what the hell are those?
Fritz Call first saw the lights in 1943 when he was flying at night during a military training mission.
It was right on the horizon, and it scared us. They're very friendly. They're not hostile lights. They don't take after you or try to create an accident or a scene of some kind.
There it is again.
I saw it.
There it is
right.
now. There, yep.
Yeah.
Everyone sees something different in the lights, and some descriptions are out of this world.
You always hear how UFOs just flash and they disappear. I don't know, it just looks like UFOs. Why can't it be a UFO?
There is a local legend that claims the Marfa lights are from outer space, that someone or something is searching for a downed spacecraft. But if UFOs are possibly involved, it logically follows that one question needs to be asked. Any of you think that Elvis has anything to do with this light?
No. Definitely, definitely.
The source of the Marfa lights has never been found, and for the people who gaze and wonder about these ghostly lights,
There's one right there.
it's a mystery they hope is never solved. Peter Van Sant, CBS News, Marfa, Texas.
And that's tonight's CBS Evening News. Dan Rather, I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
I'm Harry Smith.
And I'm Kathleen Sullivan. Tomorrow, Campaign 88 and the war on drugs.
Plus, Richard Thomas and Kenny Loggins on CBS This Morning.